So you said wait till 4 o'clock, but it wasn't until 5:15.
Yes.
But what was your impressions of the 2-minute report and the phantom foul they didn't call on Miles Turner, and then what did you think? What did you take from that?
One, I got to take responsibility and accountability. Can't give out false information. So, I gave out the wrong time. That's on me. You should always take accountability for your actions, especially when you're not right. So I apologize about that. It's at 5 o'clock, and I should know that. Second thing is, after thinking about it more, I think we can't lose sight. It's more important to focus on the third quarter for our team. And so whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, I think you have a right to be pissed about the situation. I don't think that's wrong. You can't. But at the end of the day, if we try to act like that's the main reason why we lost, then we're not getting the perspective and the lesson that we need to. And to me, we have to focus on the third quarter, and we shouldn't be in that situation by giving up a 44-point third quarter. So, and that's kind of what we talked about today as a team. We should be pissed off. Didn't go our way. It's probably going to happen again. How do we handle it? It's just a thing that happens. More importantly, let's not forget about where we have to get better,
Did you see the Turner foul on Derek? I mean, is that something that came to your attention?
I didn't even see that. I don't know when that was. When was that?
It was right before Mathurin's shot. I guess he set a pick or
no,
something.
I didn't see that.
So you had no idea.
Okay. No, I didn't even know that was a possibility.
So when the league comes up with a call and says, we missed that too, is that upsetting? I know you want to concentrate in the third quarter, but
yeah.
When the league says, oops, our bad, we missed 2 calls in your favor, 3 if you add the Jalen one. I mean, how do you digest that?
I mean, luckily I have, what was the last time I got to speak in front of the microphone? 48 hours ago. So you have 48 hours to process it. So I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, you just shrug your shoulders, right? So I think naturally you go through a couple of different things. One, you're pissed off. 2, you're you start to question some of that stuff. But as you go hour 24, hour 36, when you focus on Minnesota, and you're just like at the end of the day, it's going to happen again just because that's the nature of the game. And can we look at it from a different perspective and just build an opportunity to get better through it, But it doesn't mean you're happy about it. But I think if you stay in it too long, you don't focus on the right stuff,
Joe, along the same lines of the third quarter things that have prevented you from winning, free throws have been a little bit of an issue in a few of these games when you haven't come through. What do you make of that? You guys normally shoot around 80%. Is that something that's satisfactory? I don't know if concern is the right word, but is there some level of kind of concern about that?
It's one of those things I don't ever try to touch. Every guy's got their own routine. They practice them their own way. They've been doing it their whole career. I try not to touch that. I don't even mention that, to be honest with you. I just kind of think it's a free throw. And who am I? I sucked at him, so who am I to say anything about him? I shot 50% from the free throw line, so.
But also it is an important part.
No,
of the game,
it is.
right?
But it's not like they're. Yeah.
But it's a tough thing because you don't coach free throws.
I mean, you don't want to take away their confidence. You don't want to I don't know. They just. I honestly don't ever talk about it because to me they go up with the intention to make it every time, and it's obviously something they know and they work on it. So I stay away from that. Yeah.
Joe, a lot of times in season teams will take games against some of the best teams in the league, kind of see where they're at. Does that qualify with this team, or do you guys pretty much know who you are and it's just kind of more process oriented?
You mean us versus them?
Yeah, when you're going up against Minnesota, Milwaukee tomorrow night, are you looking to see how you match up with these best teams in the league, or do you know who you are?
I thought we kind of figured that out in game 1 at Minnesota. If you remember, I was really excited about that game because I think over the last few years, Minnesota's really grown as a team. They're healthy for long periods of time. They got a really good defensive identity, and I think all their players have gotten better. So I think this is the best they've played, and this is kind of the team that everybody thought they were going to be. And it's always fun to play these kind of matchups, but to say that it's where are we stand? No, I think we know where we stand. We know who we are. We know we're a really good team. We also know we could lose at any time, and we also know we have a lot to get better at. And so as long as we stay in that mind frame, every team's going to teach us something about ourselves, right? Indiana just taught us something about resilience and playing through adversity. And so we're always going to learn stuff from every team.
The Timberwolves didn't get here until today. In your experience, what type of impact does that have when you arrive the day of the game? And does it have more of an effect in the first or the second half?
I used to drive a 12-passenger van to a D2 school with 50 people in the stands. So my experience didn't have any effect on game, and they're well coached and they're a tough team. I don't expect them to be bothered by that at all.
You see Toronto coach Darko, his post game last night?
Yes.
What did you think? And do other coaches around the league go, hell yeah, like, because you can't do that every game, but when you see your brethren finally snap, and I know you probably want to snap after Monday.
Me?
Yeah, you probably had some things you didn't want to get fined for, but what do you kind of say, way to go, privately maybe?
I mean, everybody handles things differently. I'm certainly not upset at him that he did it. I think he has a right to do that. I always pay attention to how coaches lead their teams, and I watch a lot of other coaches' press conferences, especially when they're going through adverse situations, whether it's a losing streak or a tough game. And so in the article, his players praised him for having their back. And I think at the end of the day, coaches, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, the most important thing is making sure our players know that we have their back and making sure that, we're going to defend them, whether that's during a game, after a game, in practice, to the media, to the refs. It doesn't really matter. I think as a coach-player relationship, trust and support is the most important thing. Different locker rooms require different ones. And so I think at the end of the day, whether it's right or wrong, he felt like he had to do that in order to have his team's back. So to me, that's you do what you got to do to keep your team engaged and to keep building that trust with your guys.
You got anything else, Gary?
Those are two good questions. I would like a lot more of those like that. It's better than the goaltending one where they lost the national championship.
According to the internet, you shot 65% from the free throw line in college, for the record.
Okay, thanks.
Kristaps out tonight with a contusion. Any reason for concern? Do you expect him to play tomorrow?
I expect him to play. I'm not concerned at all.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Hey, one thing I forgot. No one's ever asked me what my favorite scene from The Town was. I know you guys all know it's my favorite movie, but no one's ever been curious about what my favorite scene is? Huh? No. That's my second favorite one. My favorite one is Doug McRae's getting ready to leave town, and he skips by the FBI's car and leaves a nice, well-thought-out, handwritten note underneath the antenna, and then gets out of town. That's my favorite scene. So, why? I don't know. Yeah.